So I welcome you once again to our Understanding Your Child the Right Way. It's the first of its kind webinar organized by Background Check International in conjunction with the first and foremost graphologist in Nigeria. I would just like, as a way of introduction, to invite the CEO and Managing Director of Background Check International to introduce, welcome us to this platform and introduce our facilitator for today. I know you know this program is powered by BCI. So let's still keep let's keep sharing as much as we can while I bring Oak on board. Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
All right. Thank you, Ayomide. Thank you. You've been doing a good job. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really a big pleasure to have all of you in house today. I hope everybody can hear me. Let me be sure you can.
All right. So I welcome us to this webinar organized by Background Check International. Background Check International, we call it BCI for short. We are the first background check company in Nigeria. And of course, what we do, it's all about verifying claims. We work in conjunction with corporate organizations and even individuals when they need to get information either on their staff or other people that work for them. Most times when people do interviews, they base their judgment of recruiting people based on how they perform during interviews, but what we tell them is that, yes, people can do well during interview, but that doesn't really tell you so much about who they really are and the things they have done before you met them. So background check is all about verifying claims, helping organizations to verify the certificates of the people they employ, check whether they have criminal records, check even whether the addresses they gave you are actually correct or not. And then we help organizations to verify the places where their staff had worked in the past to be sure, number one, whether they worked there, what was their performance, what was their attitude to work, and then of course to also be sure nothing happened. Were they fraudulent when they were there? Did they just elope when they were there? So that is primarily like what we do in BCI, but we do more than employment background check. These days we do even property check. You want to buy properties in these days of Omonile and everything, and you are not sure whether the property you are buying is genuine, you can always talk to us in BCI. And part of what we also do is to assist people trying to rent buildings. We have something we call tenant background check. And you have a property and you want to give it out, but you want to be sure of the true personality of the people you are giving your property to. So we have tenant background check. Recently, people have been asking us, oh, all right, our children want to wed, and we are not sure of this man that he wants to, our daughter is bringing home, or even this woman that our son is bringing home. I say, do you do background check like that? Of course. What we do in this year is a broad spectrum background check. So anywhere when you need to verify, anywhere when you need to know the true identity of the people you are relating with, whether you want to go into business partnership with somebody, or there's an organization abroad you want to go into partnership with, when you get in touch with BCI, of course, we can help out with this. All right, so what we are introducing today is a new thing in Nigeria. To the glory of God, BCI is always introducing new things. All right, we are introducing graphology to us. This is the body of knowledge that talks so much about you knowing more about the people you want to you relate with based on what they have written. you profiling what people, I mean, knowing more about their personality, their character traits, the things they can do and undo based on how they write. Graphology is a body, is a knowledge, I mean, a study that come out with the understanding of the fact that what people write says so much about them. All right. So what we are doing today is for parents, is for people that deal with children, wards, life coach, and you want to know, you want to have the idea of how do we understand children more from what they have written. Graphology is a way that when they write something, their writing speaks volume. So our facilitator today, Oladipupo McJob, happens to be the first graphologist, pardon me, in Nigeria. And of course, we are so glad to have a relationship with Dipo on this matter of graphology. Of course, when I met him and he told me what he had, I said, yeah, this is a platform that we need to fly this. So I'm so sure that you're going to gain a lot of knowledge even today. Like Ayo said, I'm so sure you have not experienced this type of webinar before. And so we are so glad to be doing this and giving you this body of knowledge that will assist you so much. So without wasting any time again, I'm going to be introducing Oladipupo McJob to you. He is a pharmacist by training, but he was not satisfied enough with pharmacy, and he felt there's more I can do with my life, and he went abroad to study graphology, which is a way of you understanding people from their writings, from their body languages and everything. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome to the Zoom space now, Oladipupo McJob. Dipo, you can have the floor. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy yourself so much today. God bless you.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. I guess everybody can hear me. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. One, because history is about to be made today. And I just want to congratulate every one of you being a part of this project. Like you heard from the CEO of the Background Check International, this is the first of its kind. And trust me, this could only have come on this kind of partnership arrangement. You don't really have this anywhere in Africa being done. And I'm saying that with all confidence. Okay? What we're about to share with you is something that's going to do a mind shift to you. I'm sure most of you probably will be experiencing this kind of knowledge for the first time. And so I just need you to pay attention while we breeze through all the slides we have today. Please send a reminder to anyone that registered for this as we about to cruise. Once again, I would like to appreciate everyone that has made time to be here as we go ahead. You can see the topic. It's understand your child the right way, or understand a child the right way, whichever one is okay. And that's something that is very, very, very relevant, especially at this period where there's so much that is going on, even so much attack, even at the children in our age, whether the boy child or the girl child. There's so much that they are facing recently, and we know that they won't say so much, but we can figure out a lot from what they have written down or what their body language is saying. The tool we are using is a tool of nonverbal intelligence. Nonverbal intelligence is very key in communication skills, because over 90% of how we communicate is done non-verbally. So if you are only paying attention to what your child is saying, then you're going to be missing out a lot, okay? So as we go ahead, I want you to just let your mind be open. This is not diabolic, because in the past, some people have challenged me and said, this man that can interpret people's handwriting, you must be, using some diabolic. Please, I am not, I'm not the son of the devil, okay? This is purely scientific. And I assure you, before the end of today, one thing I promise every one of you on this platform is this: you will be able to analyze something, at least one thing, in people's handwriting going forward, okay? I think that would be a good one, all right, for those of you attending. And so that's supposed to be like a thank you to those of you attending, to learn something different from what you have always known, all right? So I'm a pharmacist, I guess. Oak already mentioned that. So just in case you are having pain in your arm from the vaccination, COVID vaccination you took, don't worry, you can just send me a chat. I'm not rusty. I can still tell you which drug you're supposed to take, okay? That's just by the way. So I'm a certified graphologist. My first degree was in pharmacy before I ventured into graphology. I'm also a body language consultant and forensic document examiner. All this play a role in what I do at the moment. For the purpose of this training, we are talking about how graphology can be relevant in understanding a child. And the way we coined it is, how do you understand your child the right way? The right way, it's from the handwriting. And that is a nonverbal intelligence tool, okay? So it's already said that this is brought to you by the auspices of Background Check and our company. Okay, so for the purpose of this webinar, when we are talking about a child, we are looking at these categories, but our focus will be from those from age 5, to maybe age 18, or maybe the young adults. Toddlers or babies would not be included here. And the reason is because at a certain age, there are certain things that will be required. So we must be sure that that child has attained what we call graphological maturity, which is at the age where the child does not need any assistance to put something down on paper. That will be very important for us for this context. So neonates, toddlers, we will not be focusing on that. But if you have any child that is from 3.5 years plus upward, that will be relevant for the purpose of this stream. What we're about to share will be relevant to them. Okay, so the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, they actually define a child as anyone that is below the age of 18. Any human being, actually that's how they put it, below the age of 18 can be considered to be a child, okay? And while I was trying to prepare for this webinar, I remember something that happened a long time ago while I was in, we called it Nursery 2 those days. I don't know what that is called right now, but that's a lot, close about 3 decades plus, ago. So there was this boy in my class. If I mention his name, he probably might even be listening to this webinar, I don't know. Or he might get this webinar somewhere in the world and say, oh, this was the guy I was bullying. But this bullying thing didn't start today. It's been there for ages. So this boy just decided to focus on me. I don't know what he saw, maybe because I was among the well-to-do kids then. My dad usually gave me 50 kobo. 50 kobo was, in paper form those days, and that was a lot of money. Because with just 20 kobo, you could buy rice, you could buy drink, you could do so much, even with 50 kobo. And sometimes I was giving 1 naira paper. So I guess this boy had noticed that I was always coming with a lot of stuff to school. So each time I came, he waited for me to start eating my food. Then he would just come closely, and what would he say? He would just tell me to give him. Of course, I had done that, but I noticed that he was always coming every single day. So I got to a point I thought, don't you also get anything from your own parents? Why must it be me giving you all the time? So as a child. So the boy, each time he saw that I was not willing to give, he made a threat. He would just tell me that I was going to burn in hellfire. And you know, as a child, that was scary. That was something very scary. And I felt, wow, burn in hellfire. I had seen the movies of hellfire, and that was something like a no-no. So each time he used that trick on me, he turned his back. Before he turned, I called him back and I said, oh, yeah, please come. Can't somebody play with you again? You know, like, I mean, if it's in this age, it would be like, can't somebody play with you again? So I said, okay, what do you want? So he said everything that, and ladies and gentlemen, I practically gave this guy like 85% of whatever I was giving. Food, drinks, everything, provisions. He will eat it, he will come back the next day. The next day he will come, if I was trying to resist, he will just use the same thing again. He said, you will not give me, you won't give me, don't worry. He will just say like, don't worry, you will burn in hellfire. I said, before he says that hellfire thing, I said, don't worry, just come. And that continued for a long time. But something happened along the line. Now, my sister noticed that my baseline behavior had changed. And you see, if you are a parent or you're a counselor, you are a coach, you are into parenting, you are into child management, anything that has to do with child, please pay attention to baseline of a child. The baseline of a child is the child's normal behavior. If a child smiles every time he or she comes to a class, the day that child does not smile, you should ask questions, you should query. Now, but the unfortunate thing is that you cannot rely only on the verbals of a child, and that is where graphology plays a major role as a non-verbal intelligence tool. So even if the child is not saying anything for fear, for the risk of being descended upon, because if the child should be a whistleblower, the child is also scared that he or she might be punished or might suffer the consequences. So sometimes children don't talk, not because they are not willing to, but because they are very scared to talk. As at that time, I wasn't even bold enough to share with my parents. And my sister only was observant that my schoolwork was not having the same traction it usually had. Now, she didn't know anything about graphology then, but she noticed that the way I wrote was very different from how I started writing, especially now because that bully had started bullying me, but I was not even confident enough to tell her. So, but because she was always very much interested in me, you know, asking me questions, sometimes asking me who are some of the people you're having crush on, you know, in school, you know, playfully and all that, she decided to pay more attention, to tell me to be confident enough in her that she was going to protect me. That was what gave me that confidence to tell her. And I shared with her that there's this boy that was always asking me for my money every single day, collecting my money. My sister felt so angry. In fact, she probably, I'm sure if she saw that individual now, is somebody that should be over 40, she probably will still give him a knock or pull his nose or something. So my sister assured me and told me, don't worry, the next time he asks you that you should give him this and that, tell him no. And you know, the way she said that no, it was like putting adrenaline in my body system. I believed that so much. And that was what I went with. So that next day, trust this bully again. He came as usual, you know, just creeping in. He said, Mark Job, what of my own? I said, I'm not going to give you. He said, you are not going to give me. You are not going to give me. Of course, the usual line. You are going to burn, you know, his enemy was going to burn in hellfire. I said, I'm not going to burn in any fire. I won't give you. So the boy was very confused and said, something is happening here. This antivirus that this guy is using is really working. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, that was the deliverance to these young folk. And probably that would have gone ahead to affect me because, you know, certain things that happen at the childhood stage of anyone sometimes go a long way to determine what becomes of that child, even into adults. So sometimes the irritations we see in children is not so much about the fault of the child, okay? Sometimes the irritations we see even in the adult is as a result of the child in the adult that has refused to grow. So the problem is not about the adult. The problem is about the child in that adult that is still struggling with childhood issues. Okay, and that was, I got over my own. But suffice to say that one major thing that helped was this nonverbal intelligence tool called graphology, even though my sister didn't know it was called graphology then, okay? So, and that essentially is what this webinar is all about. How can we as parents, as caregivers, as coaches, as people that love children, that are concerned about development of children, leverage on another tool that can help you find out so much about a child, even if the child is not saying a word. And trust me, a lot of times children would not say anything to you. They will just try to figure out a lot of things themselves. But you can find out so much about that child, what is going on about, in the emotional state of the child, about the child's mental state, about the child's work ethics. So much you can figure out about that child. And that's what graphology is all about. So for the purpose of definition, it is a scientific method of identifying, evaluating, and understanding the personality traits of individuals. So whether it's a child or even an adult, via strokes and patterns revealed by the handwriting. You see, human beings are the only species that communicate through written symbols long after they are gone. And you see, if the handwriting had nothing to do with the personality, then everybody will write like everybody else. Because your handwriting is peculiar to you, that is why you can write something on a paper, or you can sign a check, and they take it to the bank, and they will honor that check. Have you ever wondered why banks will honor checks that are signed in your handwriting, even though you are not there? Your handwriting is who you are, okay? Your handwriting is your personality frozen on the pages of the paper. Handwriting is the mental projection of somebody's emotional, physical, and mental states. Everything is revealed there on paper. And that is why no two handwritings are the same, ladies and gentlemen. It is the basis for which graphology has a mainstay or is useful as a tool in profiling people. Don't forget, this is under the platform of Background Check International collaboration. And this is a powerful background check tool if you want to find out something extra about your child, not just your child, but even anybody else. For the purpose of this webinar, we're talking about a child, okay? Or we're talking about children. So, but just remember that graphology is personality assessment of anyone just by looking at the handwriting. So don't bother about so much of the definition. Just know that graphology is analyzing somebody's personality just by looking at what the person has written down on paper, okay? And it finds relevance in a lot of ways, you know, even in human resourcing, in recruitment, for recruitment purposes, for relationship compatibility. You are trying to get married to someone, and this person, you really don't know about the person. If you send a copy of the handwriting of that individual, certain things can be spoken about that individual just from the handwriting, okay? How can a teacher know so much about the students? Oh, that student that is a troubled student, that student that is being traumatized. How can you know so much about that student just from what the student has written down on paper? This is a very, very important tool for teachers, for counselors, for everyone that has to do with parenting generally. Career, vocational guidance, for employers of labor. How can we know that this person whose handwriting is before us is best suited for a salesman job than an office appointment? You can fish that out even from the handwriting. Let's move on. Okay, so last year was a lot of challenge for so many of us. I don't think anyone really saw COVID coming, and so much has happened between 2020 and even now. Certain things that have happened have remained like that. COVID has brought a lot of changes, and even in the approach we try to deploy in understanding people, so many things have also changed too. People are being skeptical these days. People are being conservative. Nobody is really talking. So there's an importance for non-verbal intelligence. There's a need for it right now, more than ever before. And that is why we're talking about graphology, which is a very powerful non-verbal intelligence tool, even in helping you to understand your child, okay? So COVID kept us indoor for months. I mean, if somebody had told you that you'll have stayed indoor for about 5 months, not even going to church or anything, you'll have said, no, that must be a bad dream. But it actually happened. Okay, and so that takes me to this question. And you see, I want us to vote, okay? We are going to be doing something right now. After this question, I'm going to be displaying 4 handwriting samples belonging to these 4 children: Alex, Bridget, Cynthia, and Daniel. Alex is 11 years old. Bridget is 13. Cynthia is 16 years. And Daniel is 9 years of age, okay? Now, before we take the poll, so look at the question. Now, of these 4 children whose handwriting samples are as displayed, which you're about to see in my next slide, who is most likely to struggle staying indoor during the COVID-19 lockdown? Now, don't forget the lockdown was in 2020. I want you to just take a very good guess, just guess, okay, for this first part of the training. Who do you think would most likely struggle staying indoor during that COVID-19 period, lockdown? Or who do you think would be the most? So let's assume everybody wasn't also finding it easy. Some people actually enjoy themselves, okay? From the handwritings, you will see which one would you choose, okay? Okay, right now, thank you. So, so the first handwriting sample is Alex. Alex is an 11-year-old. So let's assume this is Alex. This is the handwriting sample of Alex. Do you think Alex would have had very, very difficult time staying indoor? Do you think Bridget would have had a lot of, struggle staying indoor? Do you think Bridget, 13 years of age? Now, do you think Cynthia, 16 years of age, would have found it very difficult staying indoor during the lockdown? Or do you think Daniel, do you think Daniel would have found it difficult? The only difference is that there's no lion in this kind of situation, so Daniel doesn't have a lion situation. Do you think Daniel would have found it difficult staying indoor during COVID-19 lockdown? Let me start again. Alex, A. Bridget, B. Cynthia, C. Or Daniel, D. I want everyone to vote now. So I want you to just vote in the comment section. Just type, I think you can just type either the alphabet, as you can see the display. This is Alex, this is Bridget, C is Cynthia, and D is Daniel. All votes now. I want everyone to vote. Try and make sure you vote, okay? And we are going to see whether you are actually right. Let's see what the trend will look at. We have a few seconds more to do that. Okay, so please go to where the poll is and fill your answer there so that we can analyze. Go on your screen and fill in your answer. We'll give you just a little more time. Let's see many more people coming in. Yeah, 22 people have voted. Let's try and vote more. Let's ensure that we go above 30. Okay, come on, guys, let's do it. Just go to where the polls are and cast your vote. Let's not do like, what obtains in a particular country I know. I'm not mentioning the name of the country, okay? So that you will not quote me. Yes, so all right, so the question again is, of these 4 children whose handwriting samples are as displayed, who is most likely to struggle staying indoor during the COVID-19 lockdown? Why kiss freezing? Come on. All right. Okay, so I guess we should be having our answers right now, and I'll be sharing the results. So some people must have chosen A, B, C, or D. Let's see whether your answers are right. Like I told you, one thing that we're going to do in this webinar is that I'm going to be sharing with you at least one thing you would be able to look at in people's handwriting and analyze, not even just about the child, okay? All right, so I'll be projecting the results now. Let me write it down. All right, so I think the answers, the results are in. Okay, so for those of you that chose Alex, Alex had 11%. Bridget, I think Bridget had 25%. Cynthia had 21%. And majority of us chose Daniel. Everybody chose Daniel, okay? So maybe because we are considering the fact that Daniel must have been having a lot of struggle with a lion or thereabout. Okay, so what answer is the correct answer? You'll find out shortly as I move on in this training. Okay, so the slant is one of the graphological parameters that are being used to understand and profile people. There are so many graphological parameters. You have the slant, the slope, the size, you know, the margin, the pressure. You have so many, but for the purpose of this webinar, we'll be talking about the slant. Now, this is the right slant. This can also be said to be a right slanted handwriting, okay? This is more right slanted compared with this one. So anytime you see a right slant or a right slanted handwriting, the following things should come to your mind. One, this is someone that is expressive. This is somebody that is extroverted, particularly if the handwriting is from medium size to a big size, you know. You will see that the handwriting is at least appearing as though it is moving towards the right. That is somebody that is very expressive. People like this, they will say their mind. They love to talk. A child that has a right slanted handwriting, this child, you will freak out this child if you don't allow this child to express. Most times you see them wanting to take a pen, to want to write something, to scribble something on paper, okay? They would love to, you know, visit friends. They love to be around people. They are the touchy type. They are the ones that want you to hug them. That is something that you need to pay attention to. That is the personality of this child. Right slant talks about expressiveness, the emotional state of that child. Somebody that is extroverted, they are always willing to get things done. Okay, I always call them E3, expressive, emotional, extroverted. Okay, most advertisers look for this kind of people. So a lot of times they are not naturally very detailed, but they are just willing to, play around. They are willing to move to the next thing. It can be difficult for them to stay in one place. They are willing to, just play around. They are willing to express. They will always talk in class. So as a teacher, if you have a child with this kind of handwriting, trust me, this will be one of those that will talk in class. That is not going to be seen from the handwriting sample of a left slanted writer. That is my next slide now. Okay, my slide is, I think, almost having a lockdown again, but let's see. So the left slant is different. Just hold on a minute. Okay. Let's see. Okay. It's going on. So this is the left slant. Don't forget, this was a right slant. This could also be a right slant. This is the left slant. A left slanted handwriting is showing someone that is conservative, someone that is being careful. They are usually not risk takers. You don't find them jumping into anything. They are okay in a particular place. If you leave them here, they are likely to stay there. If you give a left slanted writer just a book, he or she might just be comfortable with a book, and if nothing tampers with his or her equilibrium, the person is good to go. Until you come back, you still meet him or her there. That's a left slant. Most times, when you see a left slanted handwriting, it says something about the emotional state of that child. Sometimes you find out that children that have had some challenges while they were growing, or adults that have had some challenges while they were growing up, you notice a left slant in their handwriting. Now, I'm not saying that every left slanted handwriting shows that that individual has had something in the past, but the moment you see it, trust me, it is not just coming out there, because what you call a handwriting is actually a brain writing. The writing impulses are coming from the brain. They only travel through the nerves, through the muscles of the hands onto the paper. So there's a reason why that person is writing in such a way that is being careful before taking a step. So that is a left slant. They are cautious, they are calculated, they are conservative, okay? Those are some of the things you see about a left slanted handwriting. Now, this is a vertical slant. We call it a vertical slant or a vertical handwriting. A vertical handwriting is typical of people that are very objective. They are not easily moved by emotions. You can't easily convince them if they don't want to go either way. All right, they are very, very objective in their approach. Most times they love things to be well spelled out before they go either way. They are very resilient. They are very independent minded. They are people that they are led by the brain and not the heart. That's how we put it in graphological parlance. So they are not just easily swayed by emotions. Even if you cry from now till tomorrow, they are just trying to figure out what exactly is making this person to cry. That's a vertical slant. That's a vertical slanted handwriting. So if you notice this in a child, that's a child that is not so much moved by emotions. That's a child that loves things to be well stated out, to be well detailed, and they are not going to easily jump on the bandwagon. They are not much of risk takers. They would have been sure they understood the logic behind what it is you are talking about before they jump in. That is for vertical slant. And the last one is the back and forth slant. Okay, the back and forth slant is showing someone that finds it difficult to make up his or her mind. They are very undecided. You know, indecision is a major challenge for them. Sometimes they find it difficult to meet up with time. So time management is a major challenge for somebody that has this kind of handwriting. So if you are trying to employ for a particular post, now just to digress from the topic, if you're trying to employ someone right now, I don't mind what the person scored in the aptitude test. Even if he scored 90%, but has a back and forth handwriting sample, trust me, that prospective employee is going to be struggling with coming early to work. So notwithstanding, even if it's a child, this child is struggling with the time he or she sleeps, when he or she is through writing notes or copying notes in class, the child will be behind one way or the other. Even if the child is a brilliant child, the area of time management is still a challenge for that child, back and forth. Okay? So most times they love to take their time. Most times they are not really in a hurry. They want to do things at their own pace. They are not, you know, sometimes they have just very few friends, you know, and they just love to take their time before they do things. Okay? That is the back and forth handwriting sample or the left and right. So let me reverse again. Don't forget, we are going to vote again, and this time around, let's see how you're going to go. The right slant, I've talked to you about a right slanted handwriting that it shows someone that is expressive, emotional. They are willing to get things done. You know, it's difficult for them to stay in one place. They are just very much active, just wanting to do this, do that, jumping here and there. This child must belong to a club, a social club in school. That is part of what you must recommend. This child cannot be unknown. They must know this child. Even if they don't know the child would make herself or himself known. She will be the one to introduce herself to other people, other parents, other students, pupils. And even other parents too, depending if it's a PTA meeting day. Okay. Left slant, they are being conservative, they're being careful, they don't want to jump the gun. They are just okay if you place them in one place before they take a risk. They will ensure they go through every single thing. Vertical, independent, resilient-minded. They are not easily moved by emotions. They love things that are logical. That's a vertical slant. And of course, the back and forth, which is the left and right handwriting sample. Indecision is a major challenge for this one. Finding it to meet up with time is a major challenge for them. Time management is a major challenge for them. Okay, so we are going to take the polls again. All right, so this is the question, and let me see what we are going to choose this time around. All right, so it's the same question. Just in case you are joining, it's the same question. Of these 4 children whose handwriting samples are displayed, who is most likely to struggle staying indoor during the COVID-19 lockdown? Don't forget, COVID-19 lockdown, we were all compelled to stay indoor for months. Okay, so is it going to be Alex? Is it going to be Bridget? Is it going to be Cynthia? Or is it going to be Daniel? Everyone should vote right now. All votes now. Let the votes come in. Let the votes come in. Let the votes come in. Is Alex your final answer? Is it Bridget? Is it Cynthia, or is it Daniel? All votes coming. Yes, people have started voting, trying to plot the results now. Please go to the polls, go to where the polls are on your screen and place your votes there so that we can track your vote. Don't forget your vote counts. This is not any political party where, of course, you can vote and we are not, if the vote gets missing in transit. No, 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 that's not happening here. We want to be able to track your votes, okay? So please, Olabanke Fumilola says the polling is not showing. I don't know if that came earlier, but Olabanke, please just send me a message if you have been able to rectify that. Thank you for the question. So we have 28 people that have voted. Let's have many more people vote. What do you think this time around? Now that you've had just that briefing, what do you think? Let's have many more people. Yes, the numbers are going up, 32, 33, 34. Yes, let's keep the votes coming. Let's keep the votes coming. In a short while, we're going to be rounding off. All right. Okay, so wow, the results are out and Alex, 81%. 81%, Alex. Bridget, 6%. Cynthia, 8%. And Daniel, 6%. Wow, fantastic. I think we are having some people becoming graphologists already. But ladies and gentlemen, the slant of any handwriting sample, trust me, you can take it to the bank. After this seminar, one of the things you should try and do is request for the handwriting sample of anybody and see if you can measure, if you can look at the slant. If it appears as though it is bending towards the right, I can confidently tell you that if you tell that person that you are somebody that is very expressive, you are very extroverted, you are quite emotional, they would not argue with you because that is it. That is something you can take to the bank. And I'm happy that a greater percentage of us were able to get that right because the correct answer is 81% of Alex. Alex actually is the one that will find it most difficult? Staying indoor. You know, I already told you about the slant. The right slant shows somebody that is very expressive, very extroverted. If COVID-19 lockdown is saying that everybody should stay at home, how would this person express himself or herself? So he or she is going to find it very difficult. Let's assume Alex is a male. Alex is going to find it very difficult to stay indoor, actually. All right? And that is, that is just how it goes. Okay, so we move ahead now. Olabanke Fumi, I hope that has been able to clarify it. You sent a counter one. Okay, said done. Thank you. Okay, so everybody has voted. But now, that is just on one side. What about the arcade? Okay, what does the arcade really reveal about how attentive a child is or a child's attitude to work? Wouldn't it be exciting? Wouldn't it be interesting to know? Okay, because these are graphological tools. And so for you as a life coach or as someone that says he's skilled in knowing how to deal with a child or profiling a child or understanding a child psychologically or a trauma expert or whatever, making use of tools like this speaks a lot about how well you are on top of your game, even if you're a parent. So a tool like this, what can it tell about a child's attitude to work? What can it tell about how attentive a child is in school? This is called the angle. What does the angle show about a child's way of learning? Whether this child is a logically inclined child, whether this child is of comprehensive intelligence, or whether this child is a cumulative learner. A cumulative learner is a child that will take his or her time to understand things. A cumulative learner is not less intelligent. That child only needs time to understand concept. So for you as a child, as a teacher, for example, knowing what to look out for in a tool like this, even before that child comes to class, do you know that you can predict the potential of that child? You can find out the child that will ask questions in your class, even before they resume classes. What can the handbook tell you about that boy's temperament? What can it reveal about what's happening in the child's home? This is a garland. What does the garland reveal about the child's social skills? What does it tell you about the child's social skill? Just basic tools, okay? And by the way, graphology is about the fastest way to profile people globally. I say that again. It is actually faster than a computer if you know what you are looking out for. If you are not leveraging on tools like this, trust me, some parents somewhere or some of your clients are still going to feel that you are not really on top of your game. For those that really know their onions and finding out that you are not leveraging on some of these best practices, tools, they are wondering, are you really that vast? Okay. These are tools that reveal so much even without the child saying anything. The child doesn't have to say anything. He just needs to put this down and you are looking at those patterns and you can tell this is what is going on in this child's mind. This is called the garland. It's a graphological tool and it says a lot. Okay, so look at this. So you have all these tools spelled out here. Which of these graphotherapy tools can aid a child to speak more fluently? Do you know that if you had this tool or all these tools as part of the things you leverage, it is going to take you to another level, even as a parent or as a teacher, or as a school owner, or as a coach, if you're a coach and you are charging parents and you're not making use of some of these tools, it's not every child that will tell you what you are supposed to know. They will tell you what they want you to hear. But you have other ways to find out, other tools that are non-verbal in nature to fish out so much about them. And you know, the interesting thing is that some of these tools have been found to be very effective even for stroke patients, but that's not what we are focusing on today. It is essentially about children. How powerful will it be for you to have a tool that can help you enable that child to speak more fluently? I mean, that's amazing. That's an amazing tool. This is called the wishbone. A lot of times when we want children to pay attention in class, okay, and one of the things I recommend for schools is that let this be part of what the day of these children would begin with. So let there be a graphotherapy session where every one of them is, you know, writing the wishbone in a particular pattern. That helps to tame the impulsiveness of the brain of the child. You see, the child's right brain is a very impulsive type. It takes the left brain to be in control of that child before the child can be said to be a child that is very, very stable and is not having any form of attention deficit. There are certain tools that can be used to do that. One of them is this wishbone. How powerful would that be if you could use this tool in helping parents get the best, or helping that child owner or that caregiver get the very best, okay? Graphotherapy can help to, you know, remove negative patterns in the child's life, you know, just from the handwriting. This was a doodle I got from a friend's daughter, a 3.5 years old daughter, 3.5-year-old. Now, what can you tell from this doodle? I'm sure most of you on this platform today, you probably are having the knowledge of this for the first time. What can a doodle reveal about a child? So deep that it can talk about the past and what the child is experiencing at the moment, and even project something about what is going on in the mind of the child that can help us to trace something out in the future. What does the doodle of a child say? Do you know that if you have a skill that can do this, you are actually set apart? You are different as a coach. You are different as a psychologist. You are different as a parent. You are different as a teacher. If your teachers are using this in the school, trust me, I guess some people would even want to bring children to that school. Why? Because they see that you are leveraging some other tools that are not common. And these are tools that are in tandem with best practices, I mean, globally speaking. What can you see from a doodle like this? What can it tell you about the child's emotional state? This is a family portrait. This was drawn by a child less than 6. What is it telling you about what a child pictures about the family, that child's family? Okay, is the child seeing it that the mom is more of the authority figure, or more of the one with the headship, display of that headship in that family? Or is it the father? So many things can be revealed from a doodle. This is also a doodle. If a child should doodle an arrow, or should doodle a name, you know, or doodle a house without a door, or doodle a house without a window, or doodle herself or himself without the mouth, or if a child should doodle a sexual organ. Okay, so let me share this with you. Some time ago, I just finished a broadcast on radio on Traffic Radio. I think it's close to a year now. And so there was a particular client that got in touch saying that she wanted to analyze the handwriting sample of her kids. So she sent the handwriting samples, and I think there were about 3 of them, maybe a 9-year-old, a 13, and a 5-year-old. So for the 5-year-old, I told her, just tell your child to draw herself. So when the child drew herself, now for confidentiality purposes, I couldn't, share that on the screen. I would have just put it up on the slide. So the child, this 5-year-old, drew herself. Now, when she got to the point where her skirt was, on that drawing, she drew the manhood, the male penis. She drew it there at the center. And for me as a graphologist, that was a red flag. So I engaged the mom and I asked, have you started having sex education? Have you started, teaching your child a little bit about sex education? Have you started taking her, telling her about the parts of her body and all? She said, well, not really. So don't forget what we call handwriting is brain writing. So it is not so much about your hand, it is about what is coming from your brain. So if that child could have that image strong enough, that impression strong enough, that she could put it down on paper to draw the sexual organ of a male on paper, that is very significant. To cut the long story short, by the time we use that graphological revelation through that doodle to profile a little further and to, thank God that the mom was open, because a lot of times parents are usually seeing some of these things as an indictment on them. It's not an indictment on you, dear parent. A lot of times we feel that the grades of our children are more important than their mental health status. Their mental health status, it's more important than their grades in school. Otherwise, you can have an intelligent monster. Some of the worst criminals we have globally, they actually have a fantastic IQ. So this is not an issue about IQ. You can have a child with a very high IQ, yet that child is a sociopath in the making. That child can be a psychopath in the making, because there are certain things that are being shown in the handwriting that you are not paying attention to, okay? And that is what we are talking about here. It's called nonverbal intelligence. Understanding your child the right way. So back to my story. Eventually, we found out that it was that girl's uncle that had started touching her in the sexual area. Very emotional thing and very painful. But ladies and gentlemen, that is what this is all about. So how can we escalate issues early enough, proactively and not reactively? Just from what your child has written down, just from what a child has written down. I was online yesterday. I attended, the biannual conference of the American Handwriting Analysis Foundation, and that's, a conference for graphologists globally. And it was amazing, some of the things that were revealed, and hopefully for some of you, and hopefully for those of you that will be signing up for the bigger picture of this training, because this is not the end to it. I'm sure you knew this couldn't have been. There's no way we can teach you every single thing in a webinar like this. The training details will be coming up shortly. For those of you that will be signing up, trust me, you are in for a fantastic time, for an amazing and awesome time. Some of the latest trends in understanding children from the handwriting, I'm going to be sharing at that meeting. You do not want to miss it for any reason. Okay? Like I said, the details I'll be sharing shortly. So if a child should doodle the name of a classmate or a colleague, what does it mean? What does it say about the child? Now look at this one, this handwriting. Has this child gone solo or has this child gone solo? And that's how I put it here. Has this child gone solo, keeping to himself, or has this child gone solo? Is this an aggressive child? What is going on in the life of this child? Wow, what about this one? Could any of these kids have been sexually abused? Will it be a powerful thing for you to have a tool that you can leverage? Could it be something exciting to you if you could find out from the handwriting or from the drawing of a child that has probably been abused before, whether physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse? I mean, don't you think that this is an amazing or an astounding a tool for you to have, okay? And ladies and gentlemen, there's still going to be a part 2 of this event, and at that level it's going to be more detailed, okay? This one is like an intro to let you know about what is it. You can get to know so much that you can get to know about a child, okay? But the main seminar is coming up on the 30th of October. It's coming up on the 30th of October. The time is going to be 10 a.m. Okay? The time is going to be 10 a.m. on the 30th of October. I want you to just make sure, the link is going to come up shortly. The link is going to be coming up shortly so that we can see it. So I have to answer. All right. So this is the link. So this is the link for the main event. It's going to be coming up. It's going to be a physical event, okay? For those of you that will be paying, the payment detail is on this link. It's just $200. And trust me, you do not want to miss this for any reason. There's going to be a bonus segment to it. Just keep your fingers crossed what the bonus segment is going to be like. You know, I'm not going to spill everything now, but you have seen some of the things I've shared generally. Okay. This is coming up again on the 30th of October. The time is going to be 10 a.m. For those that will be making payments, the venue will be sent to you. We already have your email. The venue will be sent to you. But begin to make payment as early as possible. Tell your friends about it. This is the first of its kind, and that is something that is very, very, very fundamental. You have not had this before. The things that we will be sharing on that day, you have probably not seen before. I can tell that most of you have not seen that before. There are new inventions, new initiatives, new creativities in the area of understanding people from what they have written down on paper and understanding a child or a teenager from what they have written down, what they have drawn. And this is not something you can actually put a price on, if you would agree with me. It is priceless. Okay, so $200 for that kind of investment, I don't think it is on the high side, okay? It is about the value you put to it. It is about the value you put to it. So 30th of October, I want you to mark it down. It's going to be, for those that might not be able to come down there, well, the facility is going to be available for you to also join, but it's still the same fee. So better still, if you come there, better for you. There's going to be lunch break, tea break. Like I said, the venue will be sent to us. The fee is just $200. Start registering immediately. Okay, start registering immediately. I'll be stopping the sharing of my screen now. I'll take a number of questions if we have any. I hope this has opened your eyes to a number of things. Generally, let me have your feedback. If you need to send something, just send. Do you think this is something new? Have you, was your 1 hour plus worthwhile, to hear something different compared with what you've heard before? So, so that will be all from my own side. Let me take questions. Thank you, Mike Edun. He said it is interesting. Thank you. Let me see some other comments. Yes, so like I said, the main program will be on the 30th. It's a Saturday, 30th of October. Time, it's 10 a.m. The venue will be sent to you once your payment is made. It's $200. This training is priceless. Like I said, there's going to be a bonus section. For those of you that will be coming for the training after you have paid, come with your handwriting sample. I won't tell you what that will be used for. Oh, am I going to interpret everybody's handwriting sample on that day? Okay, when you come, you'll find that out. Come with your handwriting sample. Somebody said, this is really awesome, and I am interested, a school owner and a father of girls. I want to be able to be of help to pupils around me. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Mr. Yemi, okay, or is it okay? Yes. Okay. Maureen said, I didn't get a part of the scribble. Yeah, so the scribble, that is, just, it is going to be more elaborate when you come for the training. It's just to open your eyes to it. There are different ways that a child can scribble. There are different patterns of a scribble. What can you say when you see a particular pattern of a scribble on paper? I think that kind of skill is priceless for you. Whether you're a parent or you are somebody that is just interested in understanding a child, or you're a coach, or a life coach, you are a school teacher, you are a head, a counselor, whatever it is. So the entire picture is going to be made, clearer on the 30th of October. You want to keep it a date. You want to sign in for this training. It's going to be an awesome training. Don't forget, this is the first of its kind in this country. Be part of history, all right? There will be several reasons for you not to want to, for you want to making excuses. Go beyond those excuses, okay? Let me share with you something. Before I ventured into non-verbal intelligence at all, there was a training I was supposed to attend in the US just to be certified as a body language consultant or a body language instructor many years back. That's not even about the graphology. Now, the payment for the training as at that time, close to a decade now, was about, I think, 350,000 Naira, excluding flight ticket. Now, I couldn't raise that money. I did all the confessions. confessed positively. I put the picture, you know, I did everything I could. The dates came and passed. You know what I did? I set a higher goal. I set a higher target. When I set that target, I couldn't meet it. I told myself, how dare you this target? So I told myself I was going to attend the Train the Trainer event. Now, the Train the Trainer program, as at that time, was over ₦1 million just for the training, over ₦1 million, not the flight ticket. I remember then that the ticket for, I think US, I think it was around maybe 350,000, just to and fro. And I made up my mind. I was going to go. You know what? Eventually, because I had just made up my mind that whichever way, I was going to find a way of getting this money raised. Somehow, nature, or let me say universe, so I don't sound spiritual here. Somehow God started making an opportunity for help to come to raise that money. Now, I couldn't raise 300 and something thousand naira. It was when the fee got to 1 point something million that grace was given to raise it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, if you believe that you can raise that money, you are going to raise that money. You have some time. Trust me, you don't want to miss this training for any reason. I'm not just saying that because I'm an authority in this, not just in Nigeria, but within the African continent. But this kind of arrangement, this kind of project and opportunity could only have been possible because of the collaboration between two solid visionary organizations that are thinking about something different, something that is out of the box. Background Check is an organization that is well known, that understands its onions in Africa. This is a background check tool, okay, for you as an individual to scale up what you are doing at the moment. And trust me, if you know this, you are not going to be on the same level. It's going to take your game to another level, I tell you. That is why on the 30th of October, 10 a.m., it's a Saturday. Make sure you do not miss it for any reason. The link is going to be up shortly again for you to register. Please register as soon as possible. The replay, I guess this has been answered. The replay is going to be available, and we are going to send that to you. You can also share with your friends. All right, so this is what we will be drawing a curtain. It's been wonderful having you. Thank you for making history, joining on this platform. I see you soon on the 30th of October this year. And like I normally say, if you want to get it right, you have to do it the right way. Thank you very much. My name is Diko Manjo, and it's been a pleasure on this webinar.
Thank you so much, sir. That was amazing. That was really insightful. I told you at the beginning that it's really going to be an insightful section. Yeah, I'll answer the last question, Mr. Yemi. Okay, asked. Yeah, but I want us to just in a few words just thank our facilitator. Let's thank Mr. Oladipo Manjo in the comments. Just say thank you, sir, and share one thing you're able to pick. Whether you'll be able to attend the paid section or not, I believe strongly that you learned something, not even something, a lot from this section. At least you have something to share with your neighbor, you have something to share even in your church. Yeah, it's an helpful tool, and you have gained some insight I think you can actually share with people about handwriting. And that is actually, thank you, great teacher, thank you for the nice word. He's saying it. Wow, thank you. Thank you. So please, I know many of us don't like when we talk about money and things like that, but there's a price to the upcoming stuff, and that is the price. So if you cannot pay, don't get so discouraged and everything like that about the whole thing. you've picked the valuable part of it. And somebody is proposing something that I think is worthy of note. Mr. Okay is saying that if I'm able to refer people that register, would that attract a discount for me as well? Very well. Let's do business, Mr. Yemi. Okay. I don't know whether it's Mr. or Mrs. Yeah, we love if you can refer people. And that is something that many of us can actually embrace. If you cannot afford it and you know somebody that can gracefully afford this, you can refer the person to this. It's something that can really be of great use to everyone. What cannot express enough. I'm reading something else. So I'm seeing a lot of thank you. Thank you for thanking Mr. Mark Joe for doing this for us for free. Words cannot express how happy I am to be here. I've had a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I would drop my email for Mr. Yemi. Okay, I will do a general mail to everybody telling you how you can be part of it, what we can do about the whole thing. If you know there are people that you can refer, would love to have that too. Yeah, thank you for sharing priceless information. Thanks for the great enlightenment. Thank you so much for coming around. We are so happy. We are so happy to be of help as the pioneer of the background check industry. You know, we are always coming up with innovative things, and now we are partnering with Magdo Consulting to deliver this to you for free. I tell you, if you put price on this, it's worth more than it does. It's high level information. It will help pull your parenting to the next game. So now, you know, for people who came in late, we'll be sharing a media replay. I'll be sending it to our emails. You can watch, encourage other people to quickly join too. They just need to register, they have access to the replay. So the replay is there for as long as you want it. So just register and you have access to the replay. Yes, I can see a lot of questions. Let's know what a complete package will cost. Yeah, that's the complete package, is the $200. Is there room for instrumental payment? I really don't know how to answer that, but you can send me an email. You can send me an email. Let me drop my phone number also, so we can talk. We can talk afterwards. We can really have a conversation afterwards. I tell you, it's not, you should know Background Check International, and trust me, Mr. Majopto is not someone who is so keen and bullish about money. But we have to praise a price on this. We just need to praise a price on this. Yes, it's an high-level training, it's a premium training. So thank you so much for the free life-changing enlightenment. We are happy to deliver that to you. Be assured of its application in our day-to-day interaction with our children. That's what we love to hear. Yeah, Mr. Joseph, we love you to apply it. I think Mr. Joseph is joining from Ireland. We are so happy to have you around. Yeah, please help us refer this training to anybody. Just tell them to watch the replay and encourage them to be part of this. Encourage her to partner. So I believe this should be the end of the training. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We do not take this for granted. Thank you so much for joining us in this groundbreaking webinar. Please, how do I get the recording? You'll get an email shortly. I'll send you an email of the replay very soon. Please endeavor to watch fully, share with other people, let them get to watch it. This is not a knowledge you should hoard. It's not something you should sit on. It's in quote, a gospel you should preach. It's a good news you should share with people. It could help people be better parents. It could help people be better teachers. It could help people be better life coaches. Yes, it could solve a whole lot of problems. When you save a child, you save a nation. When you bring up a child properly, you secure the lives of generations to come. Yes, so please, that will be all. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. We are so grateful for coming around. Yes, thank you, and God bless you. Thank you so much. I'm sure I didn't leave out any question. Thank you. You can call me or send me an email. I would so love to hear from you and respond to. Yeah, my number is in the chats. Is in the chats. I'm typing it all over again. My number is in the chats, and my email address is out there. So thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for coming around. I hope when we call you next time, you will show. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah, thank you, Adebukola Davids. Thank you so much.